Hi, everybody. It's Thursday, April 21st, 2022. Just happens to be my 60th birthday today. Uh, you needed to know that, right? So, hoy es
Happy
jueves.
birthday.
Thank you. Abril 21. Por casualidad es mi cumpleaños. 2022. Cumplo 60. Ajá.
Happy birthday.
Gracias. So, I just had a few thoughts about the textbook to start today's class. Because I'm because it's very interesting what the textbook does. So, compared to the textbook I had when I was in high school, this textbook is great. They do this whole thing where they explain to us what was happening in Africa, what was happening in the Americas, what was happening in Europe, so that we understand that the people living in these places were basically all doing the same thing. They had their complicated societies, they were trading, they were fighting, they were getting along, they were making treaties. All kinds of stuff was going on, right? Which in the past, the way the history gets presented, you just get this idea that, oh, one day the Europeans went out and went exploring and they found everybody. That's not what really happened. So this textbook is good because it does not present it that way. And it also gives us information about different groups of people in every module. I'm going to say this in Spanish. So, tenía unos pensamientos acerca de nuestro libro de texto, porque estuve pensando que por una parte está muy bien, a cambio del libro de texto de la historia de Estados Unidos que yo tuve cuando yo estuve en la high school, en que se presentó como si los europeos de repente decidieron explorar y descubrieron estas otras sociedades. En vez de hacerlo así, el texto lo hace muy claro que hubo relación entre África y Europa y Asia antes de que vinieron a las Américas y que en los cuatro lugares la gente todos estaban haciendo lo mismo, creando una sociedad, um, haciendo comercio, haciendo religión, o sea, todos estaban haciendo más o menos lo mismo de diferente forma simplemente. So, me gusta mucho el libro de texto en ese aspecto y también que siempre menciona todos los grupos, o sea, no solo enfoca en los europeos y los de descendencia europea. Okay, eso está bien. So, in that aspect, the book is good that it doesn't, it's not just focusing on Europeans and people of European descent. We do get other perspectives on the story in this textbook. But it's interesting because when they talk about, I don't know how to describe this, it's like it's not integrated. So, first you read all this stuff about President Jefferson did this and Congress passed this law and they divided the land in the western territories up this way. They make it it's interesting because you're reading this and, oh, okay, this is what the government did, right? But it's disassociated from the people who are being affected, particularly the people who are being affected negatively. So, en español. So, mientras el texto sí nos da diferentes perspectivas, y eso sí está bien, cuando están dando la perspectiva de los hechos en cuanto al gobierno, a todo lo que está pasando en el país, las maneras de transporte, las innovaciones, la revolución industrial, las leyes que se pasan, todo eso lo dan por separado. Y no sé cómo explicarlo exactamente, pero lo dan por separado como si eso está pasando aparte y aquí aparte está la gente que está sufriendo por culpa de esto. ¿verdad? So, es problemático. Es problemático porque por una parte te están diciendo, la gente está sufriendo y por otra parte lo están contando, pues pasó esto y el otro. Y esto es lo normal, que pasan las cosas. Y aquí está la gente que está sufriendo, como si estuviera como dividido. All right. So let me try and say that in English because this is actually hard for me to articulate, period. It's very hard for me to articulate what it is I'm feeling. What I'm getting is what we call cognitive dissonance. ¿Cómo se diría en español? Si se dice disonancia, es la desarmonía. La desarmonía. ¿Cómo si se dice dissonance? No sé. Y cognitivo. Una desarmonía cognitiva. Right? So we have this thing called cognitive dissonance where you're learning something, but there's something that's off. Something that's off. And that's what I'm feeling. So, what I feel is that when they're talking about this law, you know, oh, the Louisiana Purchase, Jefferson bought these lands. I feel like, and then they tell us, oh, yeah, then there were Native Americans there and they really suffered because of this. I feel like when they're telling us Jefferson bought these lands, they should be saying Jefferson bought the land that the French stole or mistakenly believed was theirs just because they were there and they were Christians. I feel like they should be saying that. Like they should be calling it for what it is, which is theft. The French stole it first, and then we bought it from the French. In other words, we were buying stolen goods. Como lo digo en español. So, esa desarmonía cognitiva que me está causando es que cuando están con... El buen ejemplo es... ay, perdón. Oh, no. Wait, no, what's going on? Ay, algo pasó. Wait. Ahí está, ok. Dificultades técnicas. Ok, so, la desarmonía cognitiva que estoy teniendo es que cuando están explicando algo como por ejemplo la compra de Luisiana, del territorio de Luisiana, lo ponen, oh sí, Jefferson compró este territorio de los franceses porque los franceses andaban con problemas económicos y también de administración. Decidieron venderlo. En esa sección que están hablando de eso, no dicen fueron tierras robadas. O sea, no los pertenecían a los franceses. Los franceses los robaron primero. Entonces los Estados Unidos estaban comprando cosas robadas, terrenos robados. Y simplemente este es un comentario acerca de la manera en que el texto nos presenta la información en unas secciones cuando están hablando de las acciones del gobierno de Estados Unidos o de los colonistas y están hablando de los que son europeos o de descendencia europea, no lo cuentan de la manera en que nos dicen qué es lo que están haciendo de a de veras. Están usando trabajo robado y están comprando terrenos robados, right? So I think that the cognitive dissonance for me is coming from the fact that while they admit that yes, all this really bad stuff was done, there were genocide and things like that, when they're talking about what the government of the United States, which at the time is mostly European or European American, right? And definitely in favor of promoting European American life and at the expense of other people's lives, they don't call it what it is. They talk about it like it's progress. they don't, they do and they don't. They do and they don't. So that's all I'm saying about it, is that there's this cognitive dissonance, and it's very interesting, um, because how could we rewrite the textbook in a way that we would not feel that cognitive dissonance? So es interesante cómo reescribiríamos el texto para que no sintiéramos eso, right? Okay, and that's it for today. Eso es todo para hoy. 10 minutos y 30 segundos. 10 minutes, 30 seconds. I did well. Bye.